Hey guys, I've got some exciting news. So last week I joined forces with Linda Mokov from Super Curious and Dr. Tyrone Wells from Let's Chat to form the League of SE Reviewers. Every second week we take one of our videos and review it to see what we could do better, what works very well, and just to talk about SE in general. It's super fun, so if you'd like to get a bit deeper into street epistemology, I'd highly recommend it. You can find our first episode in my playlists, and if you'd like to be informed whenever we go live next, you can follow me on Twitter. The three of us will also be joining Anthony Magnabosco and Reed Nicewonder on the Epistemic livestream next week. We'll be chatting about how street epistemology affects its practitioners. I think it's going to be a very interesting conversation, so if you'd like to join us, please tune in next week, 7 p.m. GMT on Thursday. Hope to see you there. Uriel, my interlocutor for this week, didn't want to be filmed. I still really enjoyed our conversation, so I decided to use it anyway, even though I don't have footage of her. So please forgive the whiteboard, but if you do enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe. My name is Ben.
Uriel.
Uriel.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. How do you spell that?
U-R-I-E-L.
U-R-I-E-L. Uriel. Wow, that's a very cool name. I like it.
Thank you.
So Uriel, what belief would you like to discuss?
Religion.
Religion. Okay. Do you subscribe to a specific religion?
No, not really. I'm just a Christian.
Okay. Okay. And what does Christianity mean to you?
Christianity, to me, it's actually living a certain life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you the theological components of Christianity, do you subscribe to those at all? Do you think a God exists?
I do think.
Okay. Okay. So the God, and it's this morning I spoke to a guy who also subscribes to Christianity, but he said for him the God is metaphorical. Are you you're not on the same page as that, are you?
No.
Okay. Okay, so God exists. Cool. So what brought you to this conclusion that the Christian God exists?
Okay. You know, sometimes when people ask me that, I cannot literally explain or pinpoint but I just have faith that there is a God, because I don't believe things just came up. So I believe that there is a creator that created things. Someone that is above all us, all who knows everything. Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying that you use faith, and what gets you to the God is you look around you see creation, and to you that convinces you there has to be somebody who created it. Okay. Can we talk a bit about faith? What faith means to you?
Believing in things that I cannot see.
Okay. So faith is belief in things you cannot see. Okay. So faith, that's a very interesting definition. If somebody came past us and they might believe in a completely different God, or maybe not even a God, maybe a completely different reason for how the universe came into existence, and I might not subscribe to either of those. Well, let's say me. Somebody else comes by and they don't subscribe to either of those worldviews, and you explain your worldview to them, and you said you use faith, and the other person, let's say maybe a Hindu, explain their worldview and they say they use faith. How would that person who's trying to figure out which one is correct, how would that person find out which one of you is correct?
Usually Okay, what I think is, because as a Christian, I read the Bible. That actually makes me trying to understand what God's plan is and everything. Whenever I read the Bible, I try relating it I try relating what is in the Bible to what I see, and if that goes in with what I see, I think.
Okay. So you take the Bible, read the Bible, and you compare that to reality. And when it correlates...
Not really, because sometimes the Bibles are sometimes there are stories in the Bible where, to the human mind, you can't understand. You can't understand how could this happen. But
okay.
I just feel like I strongly believe what is in there, that no matter what comes, because I study geology, so the evolution and everything, and I look at it, I was like, yeah, they say that, but my Bible says something else.
Okay.
So I believe my Bible, even though for school purposes I have to learn that, but I believe my Bible.
Interesting. You say you believe very strongly in the Bible and the God. If you had to put yourself on a scale of 0 to 100, where would you put yourself?
Where would I think 100.
100.
So I don't understand. Sometimes I don't understand the things that are there. But
so you've got questions about maybe the specifics, but whether the religion is true and the God exists, that's 100%.
Yes.
Okay. It's so interesting that you mentioned the studying geology and stuff. May I ask you, are you a creationist? Do you believe the Earth is 8,000 years old?
It's not 1,000 years old. Because as a Christian, I also believe that God sent a prophet. Okay. So William Marion Branham. So therefore, Sorry, can you just repeat that? William Marion Branham.
William. Okay.
Marion.
I've never heard this name. Marion
Branham.
Yeah. Okay. Is that B-R-N-N? B-A.
B-R-A.
A?
Yeah. H.
H-A-M.
Yes.
William Branham. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
So because people will say that the world is 6,000 years old, but when we look at that's the only part I agree with geology, because when we look at the way old things are the rocks, when we measure we realize that the Earth is actually billion years old, and we might not even know how old it is, but we know that it's billion years.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you're saying, when you read the Bible and you see things that correlate with reality, that makes you sure the Bible is true. In this case, like the example of geology, that is against maybe the Bible's assertion that the Earth is a certain age. Does that affect your 100% at all?
I still remember last year, the fall, because I don't believe we humans evolved from monkeys and everything. Okay. So I somehow had questions, but what I always tell myself is you get to understand things as you grow. Okay. Because maybe in my Christian life I'm not as grown as maybe as a child you don't understand other things, but as you grow you start understanding other things. I told myself maybe now I don't understand this, but I believe what my Bible says, maybe later I'm going to understand. Okay. How this came to happen. How did the scientists where did the miss, because they're still looking for a missing link and they can't find the missing link. So I don't believe that. I believe that monkeys were created as monkeys and humans were created as although monkeys were way before us, because I believe humans only came 6,000 years ago.
Okay. If science, I love what you say, you keep growing, you keep learning. It's a very, very cool attitude. If science gave answers, I'm not saying science will, but potentially if science gave answers that satisfied you, and you looked at it and you said, wow, evolution seems to be true, and there might be other things where science might contradict the Bible, would that drop your confidence or affect your confidence in any way? Okay. Would you believe
Usually I tend to, just for study purposes, I take what science does. But when it comes to really what I believe, it's my Bible.
How do you, what makes you pick one over the other?
I don't know.
So all that is true.
It just happens. I don't know how I do it, but I just know.
Okay. Do you think it's important when we judge information and we decide which one we're going to believe? Do you think it's important that we believe true things?
So scientists can mean some, because with scientists literally in philosophy we
let me be very specific. When I say true, I mean the things that closest correlate to reality.
Exactly. With scientists we literally have to go through a process to believe in things, but with God it's not like that.
Okay.
It's literally, it's there. Sometimes there's no even proof, but like I say, I just believe, though I don't see the proof, but I know as scientists they went through studies and everything. It's there, but I just believe the Bible.
Okay. Do you think because you believe the Bible, you might be overlooking things which are true? No. So you think that what the Bible says is
the absolute truth.
Okay. Even though it could contradict something like geology, where you said you do believe that the Earth is 1 billion years old, but the Bible...
No, the Bible, actually, you see, that's why I said I believe in the prophet, because some people take the Bible and interpret it in their own ways. So because it's why I also believe in Branham. It's because his life literally reflects what the Bible says. When he literally tells you that the earth is billion years old, it makes you see, because when we start with the Bible, they say God said let there be light, but you don't know how long. When he said let there be light, how long did it take for that light to come?
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I say, literally, people just take the Bible. They think, yesterday God said let there be light, and then there was light immediately, and today He said this, and then there was it took processes of time for it to be like that.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Going back to faith. So faith brought you to conclude the Bible is the absolute truth, and because you think the Bible is absolute truth, even if science contradicts the Bible, you would go with what the Bible says. Okay. So going back to our example about the Hindu, if he says, I've got this holy book, the Bhagavad Gita, and he holds that book is absolute 100% true, and our second guy who doesn't know which religion to follow, he listens to him and he listens to you, Uriel. How will he determine which one is right?
I don't know how to determine that, but I just believe that the Bible is true, but I cannot literally tell the person this is wrong, but I believe that Christianity is above all, but although I cannot tell you why.
Okay.
But I just believe that.
So if that Hindu had exactly the same argument you just had, would that be convincing to you?
You said that's why they said believing in I don't believe as a Christian I should believe based on fact. That's what I say. It's my faith.
Yeah.
It's my faith. Literally, I just believe because I believe. I don't know why. Because that's why they say it's grace. Because you don't know exactly why you believe in the things, why you do the things that you do, but you just do them and you can't help it.
Okay. It's for me. Everybody is free. Free to believe whatever they want to. What I'm kind of trying to get at is, how can we know that the belief is true? So, would you say that if we can use faith to determine that the Hindu God is real, and we can use faith to determine that the Christian God is real, is faith a reliable method to find truth?
First of all, I just believe there's one God. So
Okay.
there is one God.
But-
and, there is one God, and He must have a perfect way that we should follow. It's because as a God, obviously, He's perfect and He has a perfect way. So we have to find that way. That way. So to me, I don't really know how to determine that and how to say.
Let me maybe ask this.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any chance that you might be wrong about the God? That you might be following the wrong God, for example? No. Okay. So there's literally not even a 0.00001. Okay. If that Hindu took exactly that same stance.
I think I would just tell him, I'm the kind of person like you believe what you believe, I believe what I believe, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't force you.
I'm 100% on that.
I don't force you to believe what I believe. Like,
but would you say that one of you has to be correct?
yes, because there has to be a perfect way. But I wouldn't say that.
But if he was that 100% Ben Uriel, I'm using my faith, I'm using my holy book, it's the right way, there's nothing that can convince me I'm wrong. To me it seems as if he would be at risk of never finding out that you might be right.
Yeah.
So does that, what do you think about that?
I think I'm so grounded in what I believe that it wouldn't matter to me.
Okay.
Even if at the end of the road, like, because I believe there's a heaven, and then I go to that heaven and they tell me that no, you're not believing the right thing, I'll be happy to believe what I believe than rather being, looking this side and this side, like being lukewarm. I'd rather be cold or hot than being lukewarm.
So it's, correct me if I'm wrong in saying this,
Yeah.
for you it's more important to not have doubt than it is to believe something that's true.
To me it's true. To the other people it might not be true, but
Okay,
to
so I'm
me
just going to stand this way so I don't get the bus. You can still.
To me it's true, but maybe to other people it's not true, but to me that's the truth.
Okay. But we still say that using your method, somebody can conclude something completely different. How do I ask this? So, and you say that if you get to heaven and you find out you might be following the wrong, so wouldn't you, and I'm not saying that you should, but to maybe drop to 99%. Okay, 99% is still very high. But it means that if on the slightest chance that you are wrong, you're open to finding that out. What would stop you from going to 99%?
I guess nothing, just myself.
Okay. If that Hindu who was at 100% dropped to 99%, would you think that's a good thing?
Okay, personally, I don't think it's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like when you believe.
Let me be very specific. If he was interested in finding the true and good and right God to follow, dropping to 99%.
I don't think that's bad.
Okay.
I don't think that's bad because, as for me, my parents are Christian, but I had to find, I don't go to church because of my parents or anything. I had to believe it myself. It had to be a personal experience.
Okay.
Something that I know that, no, this is right.
Yeah.
Because I might be following my parents not knowing what they do there. And then, like, I end up regretting at the end of the road. But I had to find it myself. That's what I believe.
Okay. So you're saying this Hindu, if he had the 99%, he would be open to maybe going to a different church, having that personal experience, and maybe changing his mind and finding the true God.
Yeah, because like I'm saying about the true, because I like while growing up, I didn't like I was not into this Christianity thing because I was like still trying to find my way, like where do I belong? But now I feel like this is where I belong.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I'll end with this question. If that dropping to 99%, you think that's a good thing if you want to find the truth? What keeps you from dropping to 99%? Okay. Do you think in your case it's not a good thing?
Dropping, like in my, I don't think it's a good, I think I found what I was looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm fine with it.
So it's, again, if we take it to the Hindu guy, he might say, I found what I'm looking for. I'm happy. It gives me comfort. I'm certain of something.
I think if it's that for him, fine. The thing is with Christianity, you can't really explain why you're doing what you're doing. It's like I said, it's just okay with me. I can't explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's just that thing I do believe in it, and that settles it.
Okay. Yeah, it's so interesting. Cool, Uriel. I really appreciated your time. Let me give you a card. If you'd ever like to talk to me again, or if you'd like to go maybe check out some of the other talks I've had, I've got a QR code on the back, which goes to my YouTube channel. Yeah. What do you think about the conversation?
It really made me think.
Oh, okay. I'm so glad. That's exactly what I'd like to hear.
Yeah.
Is it in a positive way?
Yeah, like, it made me reflect on actually what I believe in and why do I believe it.
Okay.
Maybe, I feel like somehow, because yesterday I think I was thinking about it, because one of my friends just told me that he left the church, so I was trying to wonder why don't I have that, why don't I leave, why, because he said he had doubts. So I was like, why am I so sure of this thing? Why do some people doubt it?
Yeah.
I think I was thinking about it yesterday, and then today I just met you.
Interesting. On his doubts, what did that make you think when he told you he had doubts?
Literally, I was just thinking, why don't I have doubts?
Okay. So it wasn't really that you thought, this is wrong or he's making a mistake.
No, I'm usually, I'm a judgmental person, but I just realized that yesterday I was like, okay, maybe, we don't see things in the same way. So I was just trying to think why we don't do that.
That's awesome. It's such a cool approach. Because I think sometimes people tend to kind of castigate people who move out of the faith.
Yeah, but with religion, like I just feel like people grow differently. Maybe later what he's gonna see, like he's not gonna see, or like Is
your friend a year at the UP?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. You can tell him if he'd ever be interested in having a chat. I'd be more than happy to speak to him.
Okay, I'll tell him. Thank you.
Uriel, so nice meeting you, and have a lovely day.
You too. Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.